Hello again, you guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and today I am sharing 7 reseller time-saving hacks that you should be using. If you are new here, a huge welcome. This is a channel all about reselling online. I personally sell on eBay, Etsy, and Poshmark. I do that while being a stay-at-home parent, so this is my full-time work-at-home job while I balance family life and stuff. And on this channel, I like to share everything to do with that. I have tips, and I have tricks, and I have hauls and sales videos, and all kinds of other cool stuff. So, if that sounds interesting to you, please do think about hitting that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to say hello in the comments as well so that I can say hi back. Number 1, use templates. eBay makes this super easy. You can actually set up your own templates so that when you go in to create a new listing, you can pick from a drop-down menu that you curate yourself. I personally have tops, bottoms, dresses, shoes, and vintage as my 5 templates, only because in each of them I take different measurements, and I also put some slightly different like disclosures in my condition box, if you will. So I like to have all of that information preset, so when I'm listing those specific items, I'm not typing out a whole bunch of stuff that is just repeated every single time I list an item like that. Number 2 is composing your photos correctly. So when I say that, I'm talking about if you're taking a photo on your iPhone or even on cameras and things like that, if you can get it into a square mode to begin with. Almost all of the platforms, eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, they will take the photographs, they want the image in a square format. So by taking your images that way, you're basically saving time from having to crop and fiddle around with those images. And an extra tip, if you're listing on Etsy, make sure you give your image breathing room. Etsy, for some bizarre reason, likes to zoom in on the thumbnail, and it can often cut out some of the details of your item. So when I do an image on Etsy, I make sure I take it from further away, and that way it just gives, like I said, that breathing room around the side, and it doesn't cut off some important details when Etsy does whatever the heck it does with its thumbnail pictures. Also, when it comes to taking your photos, if you're planning on doing a collage, so perhaps you have a maxi dress or a skirt where you don't want it to be just a square because you'll have so much negative space around your image and it really won't show any detail. A great option for that is to do a collage where maybe you have a picture of the front and the back next to each other, so you're really utilizing the space of that square dimension. Make sure you leave a little bit of breathing space so that when you collage those 2 images together, you have left a little bit of space that can be taken away so that those items can be shrunk down side by side, and you're not cutting off details top and bottom. I can't tell you how many times I've done that where I've gone to put them in a collage and I've realized that I can't actually fit my image, my item in that little space. I've taken it too close basically and not given myself space to edit out some of that in a collage format. So just a tip. Number 3, be prepared when it comes to shipping box weight. I personally keep a key on hand at all times, and that is basically a list of all of the shipping box sizes. So whether that's a game box or a shoe box or a large box, whatever it says on the USPS priority mail box packaging, it'll give its name and it'll give its dimensions. I have all of that information on a piece of paper, and I have previously gone in and weighed just the boxes themselves and written down that weight in ounces. I do that so that when I'm on eBay and I'm setting my calculated shipping, I can take the weight of my item and I can just go ahead and add on however many ounces the box I know I will be using. Pair of shoes, I'll likely use the shoe box, so I'll add that 6 ounces on, and that way I can get a pretty much accurate weight every single time, which is important when shipping on eBay, and I don't have to go out and like package my item and then weigh it, or I don't have to weigh the box and then just like, you know, try and figure out. I used to do it where I would put the box on, I would put the item on top, but at the end of the day I'm just fiddling with more stuff. I'm having to keep boxes by my desk. It's not ideal. So I went ahead and made that key, and it has made life so much easier. Number 4, USPS carrier pickup. If you are not utilizing this, and if you have it in your area, which most people do, I think now, I hope so. If you're really, really rural, it may be a push, but a lot of us have USPS carrier pickup now. I could not recommend it enough. This is basically where you go onto the USPS website and you arrange a pickup. So you will put in all the information, like your address and all that kind of stuff, and it will tell you if you are eligible for that free pickup service from USPS. And basically you say how many packages you have and roughly how much they weigh, and then they will pick them up when they come and deliver your mail in the morning and take them away and scan them in and all that good stuff. It truly is such a huge blessing, especially for somebody who is busy or who has kids or other obligations, full-time job, whatever. It saves you making that trip to the post office every single day, and I have nothing but good things to say about my experience with this service. Number 5, this is a little bit app specific. I'm sure there are other apps that you can use, but I'm going to go simply with what I use. This is not sponsored, this is just complete personal recommendation. So I use an app called Yard Sale Treasure Map. I think it's like $4.99 for the paid version every single year. I'm happy to make that investment in my business because this just helps helps me so much. Basically what it is, it's an app that helps you look at all of the yard sales, as it sounds, but also like rummage sales, estate sales, all that kind of stuff coming up like within the week. What the paid version has that I completely recommend is you can actually color code those things depending on what kind of sales they are. So for instance, you could make estate sales purple, you could make rummage sales orange, you could make yard sales, I don't know, green. You can even do like phrases like rain or shine, things like that that will help you basically prioritize how you're going to go ahead and hit those sales when it comes to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you've been on this channel for a little while, you'll know that I absolutely favor the church rummage sale, and so I have my specific setup for words like church and rummage and then going on to yard and things like that. And what I'll do is I'll look at all of those ones that are color coded to church and rummage first, and I will make those my first stops when I go out thrifting. Number 6 is list items in like lots. So what I mean by this is if you have a whole stack of say Torrid items, you could list all of your Torrid together, photograph them one after the other, go ahead and list them and just kind of stick in the same vein there, the same brand. Or maybe it is like actual like items, like it could just be old skirts, or it could be old jackets, or it could be old shirts, whatever it is. It can often be super helpful and time efficient to stick in sort of batches, if you like, of those same items. What this actually allows you to do is it allows you to go into eBay, and when you've done one listing you can click sell similar, and that way you don't have to input quite as much information. So if I'm just listing like one shirt after the other, all I have to do is rearrange my title to sort of make up for the different keywords I want to use, like different brands, different size, and maybe like different style keywords in there. But a lot of the other information will be staying the same. So where I would have them in my store categories, where they would be in eBay categories, maybe like the shipping weight estimate, those kind of things will often stay very similar, and that lets me sort of have to go through less information when I'm filling out a listing. You do of course want to make sure that you are checking every single item specific when it comes to that, because you don't want to accidentally list something as the wrong size or the wrong color or the wrong brand. You get where I'm going with this. You still have to go through things with a fine-tooth comb, but you kind of need to do that anyway with the listing, and I still find that this can speed up the process, not only with listing but also with like photographing, because you're just kind of handling the same kind of items. If you're doing flat lays, do all of your flat lays at once rather than going mannequin flat lay, you know what I mean. And my last tip, my number 7 tip, is to photograph all of the necessary information for your items. So whether this is brand and size, fabric content, or maybe a flaw that you have, make sure that when you're snapping your photographs, you're taking a photograph of that as well. So one reason for this is it's great visual information for your buyer. If they can click through your photos and see a picture of the flaw that you've described, or the fabric content, or the size, you have that for verification. Some people are very visual buyers and they won't look through your description very well. This is like a backup there that can kind of help you. The second reason for this as well is that if I have my fabric content, a close-up picture of it when I'm putting all my photographs into eBay, it is so much easier in my opinion to look at the photograph, just click on it, so make it big or whatever, read off my fabric content and go ahead and if I want to put that into my item specifics or my description. That saves me sort of fiddling with the garment, trying to go through different layers, trying to find where the right tag is and going back and forth and stuff like that. It's just a lot less fiddly when I'm sat at my desk trying to put all that information into my listing. And that's it. Those are my top 7 tips for time hacking listing. At the end of the day, it's data input and you kind of just have to go through it, and it does speed up over time. I think we all know that the more you get more efficient just with more practice, but there are definitely some things that we can do to save ourselves time and to stop us from kind of having to go back and forth and redoing things like photographs or putting in, you know, extra information that maybe we could have made it super easy to access on the front end of doing all of our preparation. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out and watching this video. If you're new here, again, please do think about hitting that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to click the bell so that you know whenever a new video comes up, all about reselling, of course. And if you're new here as well, or if you've been here a while, please just go ahead and say hi down below. I love to say hello back to everyone, see how you're doing, and of course share any kind of time-saving tips that you may have too down below in the comments. All right, you guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.